Hello, fellow travelers. Welcome back to the Den of the Wonder. Today, on this episode of the Wonder Reviews, which is the name I've decided to call this section, I am reviewing Psychic Witch by Matt Auryn. And you guys might be excited to see it is a physical book, although you'll be disappointed to know that I actually listened to the audiobook and just picked this up this weekend, past at Witch Fest. But I am going to read this again, and I'll let you know why. So to start out with, thank you guys for your suggestions on what to name the rating system for these reviews. I haven't decided yet. I think I have a little list of them, and I think I will pop them up on my Instagram eventually and let you guys vote on it. So if you aren't following me on Instagram already, I know I haven't posted in a while. I will. Check out the information for that in the description box below so that you can get a chance to vote and what we call this segment. But for now, we're going to stick with our old standby and go with whatevers. So, how many whatevers does this book get? It gets 5 whatevers. 5 out of 5 maximum whatevers. I love this book, you guys, and I am so excited to talk to you guys about it today and tell you a little bit about my experience meeting the author who was at Witch Fest. I think we'll start with that. Austin had a Witch Fest, like 2 weeks ago, which luckily was not canceled. Came right before the big event cancellation, so I did get to go to that. Although it was a terrifying time to be out socially, let me tell you guys. But I had a really wonderful time. It was an enormous festival. There was like something like 2,000 people there, and I was really excited to see everything and see the strength in the community and just how nice everybody was. There was hand sanitizer like everywhere, and there wasn't crazy long lines to the bathroom, so I was able to frequently wash my hands, and that was appreciated. At Witch Fest, Matt Auryn did do a hour and a half long like talk. A lot of it was some rehashing of his book, but also just some new ideas and things that are coming up and on how to like positively impact the community and the problems with gatekeeping and ableism and things like that. And it was a really wonderful talk, and I had a really nice time. I was able to pick up this book by him, and he signed it for me, and that was also a really exciting special thing. It is the only book I have that has been signed by an author, and so that was really fun, and I got to chat with him for a little bit, and he was really cool, which makes like me like this book even more, knowing that the person behind it was so great. So let's jump in to the book, because I know that's what you guys are here for, and not just like my daily life experiences. So Psychic Witch, I was kind of like, I don't know what to say, like on the fence of 2 minds, I guess, would be better put to say, I guess, mostly because I don't know what to think. I have some sort of skepticism when it comes to psychic abilities and things of that nature. So I was like, oh, this book's going to be a little like, woo. And I am glad to say that it wasn't. And I'm really happy that I took a chance to read it and didn't let my own, I don't know the word for it, you know, the thoughts that I had, opinions about it, stop me from reading it. You guys know what word I'm trying to think of. Preconceived notions, I guess, maybe, is the closest. Stop me from reading it. If you guys know the word, though, like, let me know, because I don't know the word. That's gonna bug me until you guys tell me what it is. Yeah, so I'm glad that I took a chance to read it. It was a really good book. I will say, if you have been following me for a while, you know that I hate long intros. This book did not have a long intro, so I am definitely really excited about that, just to start out with. Like, that's already, like, one whatever right out the gate, because you don't have a long intro, and then everything just gets better after that. So like, yeah, so there was a short intro, and then it gets right into it. There's no like, you know, 4-chapter build up. Like, he explains what the purpose of the book is, what his opinions are, and then gets right into it. And this book has like something like 90-ish, 70-ish, 93 exercises, and they're in every single chapter, like from the first one on. And like that one, I really like, I can't even tell you how exciting that was, because like books that just kind of explain things theoretically are great, definitely for establishing an understanding, but ones that are like, here's the understanding and then practical application, even better. So I'm really happy that I have the physical copy of this, because trying to go through all those exercises individually on the audiobook would be like a nightmare. So definitely I would recommend getting a physical copy if you're interested. Also, what I didn't realize reading the audiobook is that there's like really pretty artwork, which is a plus, but there's also like charts and symbols and things like that, which if you have Audible, they will download like text files with the pictures and stuff, but then you have to be able to find them on your phone, and that's a pain, and then sometimes they don't work. But yeah, there's a lot of like imagery and stuff in the book that makes having the physical copy worthwhile. In addition to the fact that there are so many exercises to go through, it's easier to refer back to a physical book. Now, on top of that, I think probably my favorite thing about this book, in addition to the exercises and the fact that there was a lot of practical application, was that there was a lot of scientific information here. Like, the easiest way to dispel my skepticism is to give me like a scientific parallel to what you're trying to explain to me, and he does that really, really well. He goes over like brain function, alpha waves, theta waves, you know, like all the waves of consciousness. There's like dimensional theories. It gets really like big minded for a chunk of the book, which was also really fun and enjoyable, because I haven't at least recently read anything that made me go like, oh gosh, I have to like think about what I'm listening to and not just like listen to what I'm reading, you know. So I really enjoyed that. His tone was really nice. The audiobook is a really nice version. If you just want to get like your feet wet before deciding to commit, I would recommend it. The narrator was excellent. He read in a very clear, concise way. I liked his pronunciations of things. I didn't think anything was skewed, and he had a really great projection. For those of you who have any theater experience, you might understand kind of what I mean. The way that he spoke everything made it sound like it was coming at me and not just like somebody quietly reading something to me like through my headphones. So that was also really enjoyable. So the book itself, well, I don't even know what to say. I love this book so much. Well, this is like the Three Cauldrons of the Three Souls. This is like a recurring theme throughout the book, and it was something that kind of exposed me to a different way of considering like your instincts, to your physical body, to your like higher psychic self. That was really interesting. I like this book being inclusive, not only of like psychic ability, but witchcraft. Pretty much the idea is the same as Ratatouille. Everyone can cook, everyone can be psychic. You just have to practice. And I thought that was interesting. On top of being psychic, it's not just like, here's some awesome mind reading powers that doesn't actually come into play too much, but like, here's how to use these abilities not only to better connect with yourself and with the divine or spiritual or higher power or consciousness, but also here's how to use these abilities to enhance your craft and magical practice, which I think is probably what I got the most out of this, because it doesn't just go over like energy raising, but how to focus your intent on things and to project your energy in ways that will help you to manifest whatever you happen to be working on. And I thought that was a really cool take, and really useful information. I would definitely recommend this book to anybody. It starts out with really, really basic exercises and then gets into stuff that's a lot more complex by the end of the book. So it's really accessible for whoever is reading it, from beginner to really experienced. And you might think, if you're more experienced, when you get to the start of the book and it gives you like sort of his grounding and centering takes, you might be like, oh, I know how to do all that already. But I definitely recommend trying his version of those exercises, because I found them to be different than what I already was doing, for starters, but also really in depth and really well explained. And they're the foundations for everything else in the book. And so it gets to the point where, like, instead of repeating every exercise, he just says, you know, like, tune in and then do this exercise. And if you don't know what tuning in is, because you skip through the beginning half of that book, you won't really be prepared to do the things that are in the book later on. But I also enjoyed that you didn't have to rehash every single step in every exercise as well. So I really appreciated that that was sort of like combined and compounded into one step, and then just continue on to focus on what that exercise was supposed to be about. And like I said, I love this book. I can't recommend it enough. I can't exalt it enough. I really enjoyed reading this book, and I think that you guys will as well. And like I said, it came from a really nice, really genuine person. He gave a great talk and was really like patient and understanding and helpful during the end of his talk when he answered a bunch of questions for people. And there were a lot of random questions. He was also really funny, which is like definitely the best way to win me over, is by being hilarious. And he was. Um, so there was that. So definitely, this is a great book from a great person, and I really look forward to that. Also, at Austin Witch Fest, he came down with Danielle Dion, um, and she did a talk of her own, and she has a book coming out, which I've already pre-ordered, um, because her talk was really interesting, and it was all about like working with the dead, how to venerate your ancestors, connecting with the dead ancestors, what that all means and how it's used, and like stuff that I don't particularly work with a lot myself because I don't really know where to start or have a full grasp of that. So I'm really looking forward to reading her book. So definitely expect to see that here on the channel after that book comes out. She also gave a really great talk and was a really nice person. And it was just fun. It was fun to actually meet some of the people behind the books. And so, like, I guess that's pretty much all I can say about it. I really enjoyed it. Really looking forward to reading more of their stuff. Matt hinted at some books that he was working on in the future. Said he was already contracted for it and everything. So, really excited to see what he's going to come out with next, because this book was really useful to me. And I know that now that I have the physical copy, I will be returning to it over and over again to see if I can master the techniques that are shown inside. And like I mean, I'll be using this to enhance my craft from this point forward, and I think this book is going to become invaluable to me, and I hope that it will be to some of you guys as well if you are so inclined to read it. If you have read this book, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your takeaway on it. If you're going to read this book, definitely let me know about that too, because I would be interested in hearing your future experiences of this book and your opinions on that. Until then, that's going to be all for me, because I have talked so much that now I really want this coffee with the 6 grounds floating in it that are going to hit me in the back of the throat at the precise moment for maximum effect. So, I'm going to get to that. I'll leave you guys to the rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching me. Don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe, or a combination of all 3 if you haven't already. And I will catch you all in the next one. Until then, happy travels. Bye!